Every man wants to be attractive, but few truly understand what attraction is. They chase surface upgrades, better clothes, more money, gym gains. Yet after all that effort, something still feels missing. Because attraction isn't built in the mirror, it's built in the mind. The truth is, the most magnetic men don't rely on looks or wealth. They project something deeper: presence, certainty, and self-command. You've seen it before. A man who walks into a room and instantly shifts the atmosphere. He's not the loudest, not the richest, not even the best looking. But something about him makes people notice. Women turn slightly toward him. Men subconsciously move out of his space. That isn't luck, it's psychology. And the men who understand it control it. Most people think attraction is about impressing others. It's not. It's about regulating yourself. You become attractive when your energy says, "I'm not here to seek, I'm here to experience." That inner calm, that silent confidence communicates everything the surface can't. Because true attraction isn't decoration, it's vibration. A woman doesn't fall for your body, she falls for how she feels in your presence. She feels your composure when she tests you, your restraint when others would react, your silence when the world expects noise. That's the moment she realizes she's in front of something rare. A man who doesn't need validation to feel valuable. This video is not about quick tricks or shallow hacks. It's about deep psychology. The invisible behaviors that make you 10 times more attractive without changing your bank account or your reflection. We'll explore how to use calm dominance, emotional intelligence, mystery, scarcity, and focus to magnetize attention effortlessly. Because attraction isn't built through force, it's built through frequency. When you master that frequency, you don't have to chase. You don't even have to speak. Your stillness begins to talk for you. And here's the secret most men never hear. Women aren't drawn to perfection. They're drawn to presence. Money can attract interest. Looks can attract curiosity. But presence commands loyalty. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to carry yourself in a way that makes others feel your value before they even know your name. No more trying too hard, no more pretending, no more chasing. Just calm, grounded, unshakable confidence that radiates without effort. Because when you master this inner psychology, you don't look attractive. You become magnetic. Before we start, a quick reminder. The real transformation doesn't happen on YouTube. It happens inside the community. If these videos have opened your eyes, what's inside will rebuild your mindset completely. It's not just a course, it's a brotherhood, a private space where men master attraction, emotional control, and the psychology of power. You don't join for a month, you join for life. Every future course, book, and lesson is yours forever. No subscriptions, no limits, just one decision that changes your direction. If you're serious about growth, discipline, and purpose, click the link below. Join the community, enroll once, grow forever. Let's dive in. Section 1. The Psychology of Stillness. Why calm men stand out instantly. In a world that worships noise, stillness is power. Look around. Everyone is talking, posting, reacting, proving. Every man is trying to show something. His lifestyle, his ambition, his dominance. But the more they talk, the less they are felt. And that's where the Stoic man separates himself completely. He doesn't compete with noise. He neutralizes it. His calm becomes contrast, and that contrast is what makes him unforgettable. When a man walks into a room radiating stillness, people notice it subconsciously. His presence interrupts the atmosphere. Women sense it first, not because he's trying to stand out, but because he doesn't need to. His silence says what words never can. I'm centered. I'm not performing. I'm observing. That quiet confidence triggers deep psychological attraction Because it signals control. And control in human psychology equals safety, emotional safety for women, and energetic dominance for men. Most men mistake movement for power. They fidget, talk too fast, try too hard to impress. But movement often reveals anxiety. Stillness, on the other hand, communicates composure. It tells the world that your inner world is in order. That's the essence of masculine energy. Not force, but focus. When you're calm, you send a signal that you cannot be easily provoked or persuaded. That's what makes women curious and men respectful. Stillness doesn't mean silence. It means presence. When you speak, your words carry weight because they're rare. When you listen, you command attention because you're not waiting to reply. You're actually hearing. That's what creates connection. The woman in front of you doesn't feel like she's being analyzed. She feels like she's being understood. Your calm gives her permission to relax her own defenses. That's why emotionally grounded men are so magnetic. They create peace in a world addicted to tension. The Stoic man understands that being still doesn't mean being passive. It means being patient. It means you don't rush to fill silence or chase validation. You're comfortable letting the moment breathe because your confidence doesn't depend on her reaction. The truth is, most men lose attraction not because they lack charm, but because they leak nervous energy. The calm man leaks none. Every breath, every pause, every movement has intention. That's why people trust him without knowing why. Stillness also creates curiosity. The more composed you are, the more others project meaning onto your silence. They wonder what you're thinking, what you've been through, what you're capable of. You become the quiet unknown in a world that overshares, and mystery, when combined with calm, becomes irresistible. So, if you want to be 10 times more attractive, start here. In the pauses between words, in the moments when everyone else would break eye contact, in the seconds when others fill the space with noise. That's where dominance lives, because the man who can stay calm when everyone else performs is the man who's already won. Section 2. The power of controlled energy. Why restraint feels more masculine than dominance. Real attraction doesn't come from aggression, it comes from restraint. The modern man has been sold a lie. That masculinity means showing force, projecting dominance, taking up space. But the truth is, raw power without discipline doesn't attract. It intimidates, it overwhelms, it repels. What truly draws people in is controlled energy, that invisible current of strength that you feel more than you see. It's not loud, it's lethal in silence. A Stoic man doesn't waste energy trying to prove his power. He channels it. His composure becomes a filter. He knows that when energy is scattered, attraction weakens, because chaos isn't magnetic, it's exhausting. So he protects his focus, his emotions, and his attention like currency. That's why he feels different when he walks into a room. His presence is grounded, like a man who could react, but chooses not to. That's the kind of restraint that women feel instantly and deeply. You see, restraint is a form of mystery. It tells the world there's more behind this calm than you can imagine. When a man practices emotional control, he doesn't stop feeling. He just learns to own his reactions. The average man gives his emotions away too easily. He becomes transparent in his need, predictable in his behavior, and fragile under pressure. But a man who knows how to hold back doesn't suppress emotion. He stabilizes it. His calm becomes a signal that says, "You can't shake me." And that's exactly what ignites attraction. Not the display of emotion, but the mastery of it. Restraint also communicates self-worth. When you don't rush to speak, to text back, to explain, you're silently declaring that your time and energy are valuable. You're not playing games, you're showing priorities. Every pause, Every delay, every silence becomes a statement. I move when it matters. And that precision makes your attention feel like a reward, not a routine. Most men chase reactions. The Stoic man creates responses. He knows that tension builds attraction. When he doesn't give everything away, it forces curiosity to grow. The woman starts wondering, what is he thinking? What's behind that calm? Why doesn't he chase like the others? Her mind begins to orbit your stillness, not because you're ignoring her, but because you've mastered the rarest form of power, emotional control. Controlled energy doesn't just make you attractive, it makes you trustworthy. People feel safe around men who can hold their composure under pressure. That emotional steadiness communicates leadership. You become the anchor in other people's storms. And the deeper your restraint, the stronger your influence. So remember, restraint isn't weakness. It's proof of inner abundance. Because when you truly have power, you don't need to display it constantly. You just contain it. And the man who contains his power always outshines the one who performs it. Because real masculinity isn't about how much you show. It's about how much you can hold. Section 3. The magnetic power of purpose. Why direction is more attractive than appearance. Nothing commands attention like direction. A man who knows where he's going, who moves through life with inner certainty, automatically radiates a kind of energy that cannot be faked. Women can sense it in his tone, his walk, the way he looks at the world. He doesn't chase admiration, yet admiration follows him everywhere. Because purpose, not perfection, is what gives a man weight. It gives his presence gravity. And gravity, in attraction, is everything. The average man wakes up reacting to life. His emotions depend on who texts him, how people treat him, or whether he feels wanted that day. His mood shifts with circumstance. But the Stoic man is anchored. He wakes up guided by something higher than impulse, direction. Whether it's his craft, his mission, his discipline, or his vision for himself, he moves with clarity. And that clarity is magnetic because it creates stability. A woman doesn't fall for how hard you chase. She falls for how hard you chase your path. Purpose rewires the psychology of attraction. When your focus is forward, not outward, your energy transforms. You stop orbiting around others and start moving like a force of nature. Your words carry conviction, your decisions carry weight, and your silence carries meaning. Because you're not looking for approval, you're building something. That's when you stop being one of her options and become the standard by which she measures others. The truth is, most people, men and women, are drawn to direction. It creates emotional safety. It signals maturity. It whispers, if I follow him, I won't get lost. That's why the man with purpose doesn't need to flex status symbols or achievements. His energy already says, I know where I'm going. He becomes desirable not because of what he has, but because of who he's becoming. That journey itself becomes attractive. But purpose is not about work alone. It's about internal alignment, knowing what you stand for, what you tolerate, and what you refuse to become. The Stoic man doesn't need validation to confirm he's on the right path. His values guide him like a compass. He's not afraid of solitude, because he understands that silence is where purpose grows. And ironically, that independence is what draws others to him. Because a man who doesn't need company to feel complete makes people want his company even more. Direction gives you presence. It changes how you walk, how you talk, how you breathe. Your mind becomes focused, your emotions balanced, your time intentional. You no longer move for attention. You move with attention. That's what people feel when they meet you. So, if you want to be 10 times more attractive, stop asking, how do I make her like me? And start asking, What am I building that makes me proud to be me? Because when you move with purpose, you don't have to chase attraction, you become it. Section 4. The Law of Scarcity. Why being selective makes you magnetic. Scarcity creates value, not because it's manipulative, but because it's natural law. Whatever is rare is respected, and whatever is easily available is taken for granted. The same principle applies to your attention, your time, your energy. The modern world is overflowing with men who give these things away too cheaply. They respond instantly, reveal too much, chase endlessly, and then wonder why they're not respected. What they don't realize is that attraction fades in abundance and deepens in scarcity. The Stoic man doesn't become scarce by pretending to be unavailable. He is unavailable because his time and energy are devoted to something greater than validation. His focus is a scarce resource. His attention is earned, not given by default. He's not cold. He's calibrated. He chooses where his energy goes with precision, and that precision creates fascination. When people sense that your attention must be earned, they start to crave it more. It's not a trick, it's human psychology. You see, the mind values what it can't easily possess. A woman who knows she can have your time at any moment will start to undervalue it. But when she senses that your time is intentional, when your replies come with thought, your presence feels selective, your boundaries are clear, she begins to chase the experience of your focus. Because it's not just attention you're offering, it's validation from a man who doesn't need to give it. Scarcity doesn't mean playing games. It means your energy is disciplined. You don't over-explain. You don't beg for understanding. You don't flood the moment with effort. You allow silence to do what words can't. Create tension. When she doesn't hear from you, she doesn't feel ignored. She feels the absence of your presence. That difference changes everything. Because your absence isn't empty. It's filled with meaning. Most men fear being too quiet or too slow, thinking she'll lose interest. But women lose interest not from silence, from saturation. Too much access, too soon, kills curiosity. The Stoic man understands that mystery and discipline are the oxygen of attraction. By being selective, you're reminding her, and yourself, that your energy is sacred. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. You know your worth, and therefore, you protect it. The beauty of scarcity is that it redefines what chasing means. You stop chasing people and start chasing purpose. You stop begging for connection and start building magnetism. Your detachment becomes your distinction. You no longer fight for attention because your absence already speaks for you. Scarcity turns attraction into appreciation. It teaches her that your time has weight, your words have value, and your silence has substance. The more selective you become, the more magnetic you grow. Not because you withhold love, but because you've learned how to protect it. Because the truth is simple. The rarest men are not the richest or strongest. They're the ones who know how to make their energy feel rare. Section 5. The Discipline of Emotional Control. How calmness rewires desire. Attraction is emotional energy, and whoever controls that energy controls the dynamic. The average man loses this game without realizing it because he reacts to everything: her silence, her tone, her mood, her attention. Each reaction drains his power and teaches her that she can move him emotionally at will. But the Stoic man is built differently. He feels emotion, yes, but he doesn't feed it. He regulates it. He studies it. He channels it. His calmness becomes a form of dominance that rewires how people feel in his presence. You can see it instantly. When a Stoic man is tested, he doesn't overreact. When he's challenged, he doesn't rush to defend himself. When he's ignored, he doesn't panic or beg for recognition. His silence doesn't come from pride. It comes from possession. He owns himself completely. And that ownership is what makes him magnetic, because deep down, people crave what they cannot destabilize. Emotional control is not about pretending to be unbothered. It's about having the inner discipline to respond from awareness rather than impulse. When she withdraws affection, you don't chase, you observe. When she tries to provoke emotion, you don't suppress it. You redirect it into patience. When she becomes inconsistent, you don't internalize it. You simply detach with grace. That's emotional mastery, not resistance, but refined response. A woman feels safest and most intrigued around a man she cannot emotionally control. She senses his calm not as coldness, but as confidence. His tone doesn't change under pressure. His breathing doesn't quicken in conflict. His words stay measured even when hers don't. That balance creates polarity. It tells her, this man isn't reacting to me. He's grounded in himself. That kind of energy is addictive because it feels like stability in a world of emotional chaos. But emotional control is not only about attraction, it's about freedom. When you master your inner state, no one else dictates your peace. You stop chasing closure, validation, or reassurance. You give those things to yourself. That self-sufficiency radiates outward. It's what people call charisma without understanding why. Because calmness isn't just quiet. It's magnetic silence. It pulls everything toward it while revealing nothing unnecessary. Every time you choose patience over panic, you elevate your value. Every time you remain grounded when others would explode, you double your emotional strength. That kind of control doesn't just change how others see you. It changes how you see yourself. You start trusting your own steadiness. You stop apologizing for your silence. You begin to understand that your peace is your most expensive possession. And not everyone can afford access to it. In the end, attraction is about energy exchange. When your emotions are regulated, your energy becomes clean, composed, powerful. You're not projecting need, you're radiating self-command. And that's what draws people in. Because no matter how beautiful, wealthy, or charming someone is, nothing compares to the rare magnetism of a man who cannot be moved by anything except his own purpose. Section 6. The subconscious signal of self-respect. Why boundaries create desire. There's a silent language every woman reads fluently, the language of self-respect. It isn't spoken through words, status, or promises. It's transmitted through boundaries. When a man has boundaries, he communicates something powerful at a subconscious level. I value my peace more than I value approval. That sentence alone separates him from nearly everyone she's ever met. Because most men don't protect themselves, they negotiate their worth in exchange for affection. The Stoic man never does that. His boundaries are not walls. They're frameworks that hold his dignity together. He doesn't enforce them with aggression, but with calm certainty. He's not saying, I'm too good for this. He's saying, I've outgrown what costs me peace. That's the essence of attraction. Silent, grounded self-respect that doesn't need justification. When a woman encounters that energy, she feels it immediately. She realizes she can't cross certain lines, not because he told her so, but because his energy makes it clear she shouldn't try. Boundaries are magnetic because they create contrast. They show restraint in a world that overextends, patience in a world that overshares, and self-trust in a world addicted to validation. When you don't react to disrespect, but simply withdraw your energy, you teach people the difference between access and entitlement. That distinction makes you unforgettable. People might not understand your boundaries at first, but they will always remember how your absence felt once they tested them. The Stoic man doesn't argue when someone disrespects him. He detaches. He doesn't explain why something bothers him repeatedly. He leaves quietly the first time. His silence after a boundary is crossed is louder than any confrontation could ever be, because self-respect doesn't shout. It simply stops showing up. And that withdrawal creates a void that makes others reflect. They begin to realize what they lost wasn't attention, it was stability. Boundaries also purify attraction. They remove chaos before it can take root. The woman who truly values you will rise to meet your standard. The one who doesn't will fade away. Either outcome protects your peace. That's the beauty of boundaries. They do the choosing for you. You no longer have to wonder who's genuine. Your consistency filters the world naturally. Every time you say no to something beneath your worth, you reinforce your identity as a man of value. Every time you walk away from a situation that disrespects your effort, you strengthen your frame. Boundaries are not barriers to love. They are the container that keeps love healthy. Without them, you become emotionally diluted, easy to access, easy to forget. So never apologize for your limits. They're not a punishment to others. They're a promise to yourself. The man who protects his peace doesn't repel people. He attracts the right ones. Because deep down, every woman wants a man whose respect for himself silently teaches her how to respect him too. In short, attraction has always been misunderstood. Men have been told to chase, to compete, to decorate themselves with status and strength. But what truly makes a man magnetic isn't something he can buy, lift, or wear. It's something he embodies. The kind of quiet energy that can't be taught by society, only revealed through discipline. Because real attraction isn't about what she sees. It's about what she feels when she's around you. Through this journey, you've seen that the foundation of magnetism has nothing to do with surface and everything to do with substance. You learned that stillness makes you stand out because it creates contrast in a world addicted to movement. That restraint is more masculine than dominance because it shows control, not compulsion. That purpose is the core of attraction. The invisible flame that draws others to your direction without you having to say a word. You discovered that scarcity doesn't push people away. It purifies who deserves to stay. That emotional control turns chaos into clarity and makes you a man no one can easily shake. That self-respect isn't arrogance but self-alignment. The quiet rule that says, I protect my peace first. And finally, you saw how presence transforms everything you touch, how your calm can regulate storms, how your silence can speak entire truths, and how your composure can make others feel something they can't explain. This is what it means to be 10 times more attractive. It's not exaggeration, it's evolution. When you stop performing and start embodying, when you stop chasing attention and start mastering energy, your life changes. You no longer need validation to confirm your value. Your value confirms itself through the way you move. Every word slows down, every gesture becomes intentional, and your world starts orbiting around your inner rhythm instead of the world's chaos. Women feel this difference instinctively.